Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Krakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters that's out there onto the Zyphonus from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on today. It's very obviously it's a high spiritual day. I did this show several times, and I don't know how long it took, but it didn't record. I don't even know where to start, really, honestly. But I'm gonna try to expedite and do this. The fire is hot, so I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do to push this, push this word out there. Let me start it out with this. Lord willing, it records. I'm gonna make this short then. Short as possible. I'm gonna keep looking at it. I think I did like an hour, not a close to hour show, and it didn't record. Second time earlier I did a show, and it just recorded the audio. It didn't record the thing, so it is what it is. Ecclesiastes 1:9 says, "The thing that has been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. There's no new thing under the sun." So the thing that has been is man, and the thing that shall be is man, and there's nothing new under the sun. Everybody thinking that, which is gonna say, is there anything whereof may be said, see there's none, there is, see this is new. It has been already of old time, which was before us. So, like the scripture says, which is self-explanatory. All right, spirits come back doing the same thing, going through the same cycle over and over again. And the premise of the show was basically be on the propaganda that's being put on the tribes. Each week is a different tribe of the nation of Israel that's being blasted on public television as being the most savage of all nations. All right, last week or last 2 weeks were the Venezuelans. The gangs are doing this and that, and this week was the Haitians. And we could clearly see, clear as day, what they're doing and how they're portraying these people that's coming from poorer countries, because the U.S. has raped, robbed them, and overthrown their governments, and they come here to flee for a better opportunity. And now that they're getting perks, people don't like those perks that they're getting, but that happens to all migrants. But this is like in a hyper sense. They're getting a lot more money than your regular migrant that will get bank loans to set up shop. So now the whole propaganda is to make these people look bad and be hated above all. Revelation 12:10, it says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before the most our power, day and night." So you have witches on the left hand side showing the Lord, like, look what your people are doing. All right, now all of a sudden, people that coming from another country who's getting $300 in food stamps, maybe some thousands of dollars in food stamps, but yet they're gonna go out there and snatch people's pets. Show how wicked this devil is. All right, and what he's doing, he's making everybody hate each other, especially everybody take his attention off of the U.S. government and put your attention onto them. All right, the scripture says, matter of fact, let me get that point. Psalms 50:20, it says, "That sittest and speakest against thy brethren, that slanderest thy own mother's son." And we are more closer than Esau than any other nation on the planet Earth. And they slander us. The word devil means slander, accuser. So he's accusing us for doing the most vilest thing. But he's the one that's promoting wicked acts, wicked deeds. He's allowing the people doing wicked acts and wicked deeds. So now the world is completely against the people, and they want to harm them. But desperate times lead to desperate measures. And I did a show, and I'm gonna try to expedite this version. And I went into the history of people doing vile things, not because they wanted to, it's because of the conditions. 2 Kings 6, and I believe it's 20 to the point. 26. It's 24 actually. It said, and it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up to besiege Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of a dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. And as the king of Israel was passed by upon the wall, they cried a woman unto him, saying, Help my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord did not help thee, whence shall I help thee? And out of the barn floor, or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What ailest thou? And she answered this woman and said unto me, Give thy son, and that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had hid him. It came to pass, when the king heard words of the woman, that he rent his clothes and passed by upon the wall. So it got so desperate that they was eating each other's children, and also they was eating abominable things. All right, that's how desperate it got. So this is the same thing that's going to end up happening here. All right, the same thing that's going to end up happening here. I'm going to read one more account. Matter of fact, I'm just going to quote it to make this expedite quick. When you read Luke the 21st chapter, it says that when Jerusalem could pass about with armies, the Lord gave the warning to flee. In that period of time, it was spoken of 70 AD. And also it's going to take place soon. And 70 AD, the prophecy of 70 AD was going to took place in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, the 49th verse on 20th chapter, 49th verse on down. When they was led, matter of fact, I do have to read that one part. Deuteronomy 28. I can't believe I got to do this again. This is what? Patience. It says, Deuteronomy 28:52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thou have thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thy trusted throughout all thy land, and shall besiege thee in thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power have given thee. And thou shalt eat thy fruit of thy own body, and the flesh of thy sons, and the flesh of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power will give thee, have given thee, and the siege and the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So the fulfillment of this was 70 AD. Well, guess what? It's going to happen again. All right? Because America is a first world country, that never had, and you know what? I should have looked at it. I did. When I did the first show, I went to the worst famine in the world history. But I should have went to the worst famine, and it took place in China from 1959 to 1961. It said that over 30 million plus people died from the famine. So I'm gonna look in the worst famine in the U.S. history. And see what it says. It says, he just mentioned, go figures. Worst famine in, let's just type in America. Alright. Let's see what it's at. What it says. It should be in, alright. U.S. famine 1930s. The Dust Bowl forced tens of thousands of poverty-stricken families who were unable to pay a mortgage or grow crops to abandon their farms and loses. It says over 1,000 people. That's it? Oh, that's just the Dust Bowl. Let me. Hey, that's what it says. Oh, this is a very important thing. There isn't much information about the worst famine in U.S. history, but here's some information about famines in other parts of the world. What can I say? So I couldn't find the worst famines in the U.S. history, but we could find famine in the world's history, which the Chinese famine, they said, was the world's worst famine, which was man-made. So here's another thing that's man-made. Revelation 6:5. Then when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come." Gotta make sure. It says, and I heard, "Come and see, and behold, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balance in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measure of barley for a penny." So a day's work was equal for a day's food. And that's man-made famine. That's why you have all these world leaders was constantly talking about a famine is going to take place, a famine, because they're going to make it happen. All right, this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay, and the world's going to realize that the same thing that they've been pulling on people is going to happen unto them. Habakkuk 2:7. Then shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? Shall they not be booties unto them? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of thy people shall spoil thee. So America has raped and robbed Venezuela. They destroyed their economy. That's why you have they call them the economy hitmen. After Chavez died, that country went to shit. When the country went to shit, what do you think all those people was trying to go to? And the shit didn't stop there. It got worse and worse with all the U.S. sanctions. All right, which didn't affect the powers to be, but it affected the people. So now the people come over here, they got all of a sudden, they didn't give a fuck about the people back down there. Now they give a damn about the people now. This is all propagated. Haiti. after the earthquake. Millions of them, I think it's 10 million of them died. And then they started saving up some, supposedly giving them money from first aid and so forth, and millions of dollars never went to the people. To this day, those people are suffering. That's why the country's in the upheaval. Now, all of a sudden, the Haitians come over here. They savages. They eat people's pets. But yet, the U.S. government is giving them hundreds of dollars to go out there to get food in the supermarket. So all this propaganda, all this madness that being pushed on the people is going to happen onto you. All right? It's going to happen onto you. Now, let me get to the point. Like I said, this is a quick one now. 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that were in for the sword and their destruction. Draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes. The course of their action shall stand up in their own power. So there's going to come to a point where people, the citizens of America, is going to take matters in their own hands. Great civil unrest. All right, and then first they're going to think they're going to go after the people that doesn't speak the language. It's like that movie Civil War. That movie Civil War was a prelude to things to come. That movie Civil War was exactly how they want things to turn out. Everything is propaganda. Everything is what's the word I'm looking for? Everything is subliminal, and it's gonna actually happen. There's gonna be people fighting against other people, and they're not gonna give a damn who's in political office, their favorite person. They can't eat. They going to take matters into their own hand. And the same shit that they was complaining about with these other nations, especially the Haitians now, are doing, they're going to do it to their own soon. All right? Desperate measures equals for desperate times. The condition is not yet there, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. That's why we always talk about the whole grape thing. People look at us like we had three heads. But when society collapses, what happens? It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city, martial law, and shall not be able. For because of the pride of the city shall be trouble, and the houses shall be destroyed, and a man shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So just like the movie Civil War said, what kind of American are you? You know? So it's going to come down to the wire. You got Democrats versus Republicans. Then it's going to come down to you was born here, how many generations, and so forth. It's going to get apocalyptic out here. All right? It says, but they should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, famine, and great tribulation. So great tribulation is coming in the shores of America. You cannot hide for the fact what you have done unto these people. All right? You cannot hide for the fact what you done to the children of the nation of Israel. Right now there's a demonizing campaign that's going on, period. And the Lord ain't going to have that. You're going to eat those words real soon, literally. Verse 49, it says, verse 48, that has followed her, that is hated in all her works. And it's going, matter of fact, 46, I'm going to try to read fast. And thou, Asia, thou partakest of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her persons. So, Babylon is a representation of the West. Asia is a representation of the East. And both sides are fighting desperately to bring in their new world order. What the West was doing, the East is doing. What the East is doing, the West is doing when it comes to philosophies and harshness. That's why in the East, certain countries, police is not to bear. They're not supposed to bear arms and so forth. But here in America, right to speech, free speech, and right to bear arms is the last two things to go. Then it's going to be like those countries. So they're following the same thing. Woe be unto thee, that wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her. Hast thou decked thy daughter in whoredom, that might please and glory in thy lovers, which that always desire to commit whoredom with? These elites, right? That has followed her, that is hated in all her works and in inventions. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, the waste the houses with destruction and death. So the same thing that's going to happen over here is going to happen over there. All right? They have no problem killing their citizens. So the U.S. government is going to destroy their citizens, and the other governments of the world is going to destroy their citizens. All right? And it says, and thy glory of thy power shall dry up as a flower. The heat shall arise that is set over thee, which is the same destruction. The world is going to be uplifted. America's going to take the greatest portion of the destruction, but the world, there's other parts of the world that's going to be destroyed as well. But before that destruction, it says, thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes. So their economy is going to be destroyed. The way things are, the scriptures tells you that they shall take the agriculture, instead of putting their money into the agriculture, they're going to put their money to their military might, which is going to starve out their own people. It says, with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee. Would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith the Lord? If thou has not always slain my chosen, who are the Lord's chosen? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the biblical Israelites, because Israel is not just here in America; it is all throughout the four corners of the earth. All had a joint hand in our downfall. All right, all these nations had a joint hand in our downfall. So the Lord is going to strike all of them. He said, "Exalted the stroke of thy hands, and saying over the dead bodies that was drunken, for set forth thy beauty of thy countenance. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. Therefore shall thou receive thy recompense. Like as thou hast done to my chosen, saith the Lord, even so the Most High will do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, famine. Thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy city shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field." So they all gonna die. All right, the same shit that they talking about, the tribes are doing, they all gonna get it. And it says, "They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger." Yeah, just because you live in the city, you're not gonna have the people that lives in the places near the mountains. They may think they have the greater advantage because it's city life and they don't know how to hunt. Well, guess what? You're gonna die, and it's gonna explain why. It says they shall die of hunger because food is not gonna be scarce. The Lord could put the spirit in the animals, and anything even goes in that direction. So you're gonna be left with what? Hunting down berries, trying to get squirrels or little birds, and they're gonna fly. You're not gonna have the strength to fight to get them. It says, and eat their own flesh. So you're gonna result to cannibalism. You're gonna result into unthinkable acts. All right, same shit that you flaunt and you put that propaganda on others. You're gonna be doing the same shit. Desperate times leading for desperate measures. It says, and drink their own blood for the very hunger of bread and the thirst of water. So the same thing that you so happen to just sit there and say, "Oh, we're not like this," well, you're gonna be doing the same thing. Because guess what? This I'm gonna end it off with Jeremiah 30, And 5, I start at 5. It says, "For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins, as a woman in travail." So can men bear children? Does a man have a womb that's gonna bear children? No matter what this devil put out there, those are not women. Those are men. They're not. That's a devil. Those are not men. They are women. All right. They still have the reproductive system. So the answer to that is no. But Jeremiah is seeing it clear, and it says, "And all faces are turned into paleness, because of what? Great famine. Alas, for that day is great, so there is none like it. There's nothing new under the sun. It happened in the past in the other parts of the world. It shall happen here in America, but it's going to be far worse." It tells you in Daniel's the 12th chapter, it's going to be worse. The worst thing that ever happened in human history. It's going to surpass everything that we always read in the history books. It's going to happen here, all right, in these latter times. So none that is like it is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So Israel's trouble is the world's trouble. So the shit that you talk bad about the people of the Lord and their lowest form, you're going to eat up all your words. Every last one of you. All right? You're going to eat up all your words. Literally. But he shall be saved out of it. And who's going to be saved? The elect of the nation of Israel. So you could gather up all the foods, your bunkers, all the drinks, the best of the best, all of that. Like the scripture says in Luke about the rich man. Let me see if I can get that. I believe it's Luke 14. That's been coming out a lot too. I was supposed to end it on that one. Let me try Luke 14. Yep. No. Let me just type it in. Luke 12, and I start at 18. That's 18. And he said, I'm sorry, 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought to himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room to bestow my fruits? And he said, this I will do. I will pull down my barns, build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul that has much goods, to all you doomsday preppers, all you people out there that say, I got everything locked down, I got my guns, I got ammunition, I got food for 20 years. Right? It says, laid up for many years, take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. So I got nothing to worry about. But the Most High said unto him, thy fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? And who those things is going to be for the righteous. All right? You saving up for the righteous. When famine is going to come across the board, those that the Lord promised to escape that famine, they're going to eat. The same people you talking shit about, all right, that did no wrong to you, they're going to eat. Isaiah 65, straight to the point. And really it's going to talk about the elect. 13. It says, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hunger. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. So there's going to be a tale of two things. Those that has it now, and those that have nots, and they look bestowed, the propaganda, the whole shit, the whole nine, because all this demonization is going to lead more hatred. It's going to lead more people to being destroyed. But those survivors, those that don't be destroyed, that's being protected by Yahweh Mashiach Yahushai, when the dust is cleared, we shall eat. When the dust is cleared, we shall drink. When the dust is cleared, we should be taken care of. Thus saith the scripture. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.